Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Soulful Saturdays with Sailor. You know, we all talk about magic like it's this big show stopping thing, like fireworks on New Year's Eve, or finally hitting the milestone we waited forever for. And don't get me wrong, those moments, they're beautiful, they're special. Ah, but they're also rare. They come and go. And if you wait for only those to feel alive or inspired or connected, we miss most of our life. So let me tell you a little secret. Magic doesn't only show up in the big moments. Nope. It's hiding in the everyday stuff, the ordinary, the simple, the things we walk right past without even noticing. It's in the way the morning light hits the wall. It's in the way your mind settles just enough for you to hear yourself think. And honestly, if you're anything like me, sometimes you miss it entirely. Not because you don't want it, but because life is loud. Life pulls you in a million directions. You're thinking about your to do list, your inbox, your family, and one conversation you had 3 days ago that you're still replaying. And in all that noise, those tiny sparks, they don't demand your attention, they whisper, and it's easy to overlook. Overlook a whisper when the world is shouting, and it's shouting loudly. Wouldn't you agree? So imagine this. What if I told you that noticing those tiny sparks, yes, the ones you think don't matter, they could completely change the way you feel, the way you move through your day, and even how you see your life? What if the magic you've been waiting for has actually been sitting right beside you this whole time, just waiting for you to look around? Or maybe look up, but it's there. It's been waiting. All right. So let's just get honest for a minute because here's the real talk. Life can feel routine. You know what I mean. You wake up, your feet hit the floor, and before you even realize if you're in the autopilot mode, it's exhausting, predictable, sometimes even kind of dull in a way that makes you wonder, is this it? Is this what my days are supposed to feel like? You go through the motions, get ready, maybe get the kids or the dog taken care of, or in the car, go to work, answer the messages, put out all the fires, and then you come home, scroll through your phone because, well, your brain needs a break, check a few more boxes, and then you might crash at night thinking, wow, did I even live today? And if that hits in your stomach a little, because the question is a big one, it's a soul question. This is your soul question. Is that what your life looks like? And I've been there. Oh my goodness, have I been there? More times than I could actually count. Those mornings where I'm rushing around like a tornado. I mean, really, I would make my coffee, take a sip, and even not even really taste it because I'm already 10 steps ahead in my mind and I didn't notice the warmth in my hands. I didn't notice the smell. Sometimes I didn't even notice that someone smiled at me. They looked right at me, offered this little spark of humanity, and I completely missed it because my mind was somewhere else. And those days feel heavy. They feel like life is happening around you, but not with you. Almost like the magic. Whatever magic might be out there is hiding, and you're just too tired or too overwhelmed to go looking for it. But let me tell you about a moment that woke me up a little. I remember this one morning. Oh boy. I remember clearly. I was late. I was stressed. My to do list? Well, it felt like a backpack full of bricks, and my brain, it wasn't even in the building. It was already halfway through the day, and then out of nowhere, I heard this bird singing outside my window. Now, normally, I would have ignored it. Just more background noise, right? But for whatever reason, maybe divine timing, maybe grace, I stopped just for a second. I actually listened. And in that tiny pause, something shifted. It wasn't dramatic. No angels descending, no beams of light coming down from the sky. Just a single moment where I felt grounded again, present, human. And I remember thinking, wow, that was always there. I just wasn't. And that's wild, right? How something so small can anchor you. But that's the thing. Those tiny moments we rush past, they're carrying magic. They're carrying connection. But we only receive the magic that we make the room to see. We've got to make room to see it. And then when we make room to see it, guess what'll happen? We've got to make sure we are present to actually see it. So here's your pivot. And honestly, it's a gentle one. Nothing dramatic, nothing that requires you to pack up your life or reinvent yourself overnight. Just a shift, a soft turn of the heart. What if you didn't wait for something huge to happen to feel magic in your life? What if you didn't make joy this big event that has to be earned or scheduled or celebrated with confetti flying from the sky? What if instead you invited wonder into your day right where you are, right now, this very second? I know, it sounds almost too simple. We're so used to chasing the big things, the big goals, the big breakthrough, the big emotion, aha moments. And don't get me wrong, they're all beautiful and they're rare. They're occasional. They're like shooting stars, breathtaking, but not something that you can rely on every night or every day. The small moments, oh, those show up all the time. And they're so easy to miss when you're focused on what's next, what's not working, what we wish would hurry up already. So let me paint this for you. Imagine walking up instead of immediately thinking, I'm already behind. You notice the weight of the blanket on your body. You feel the softness, the warmth, the magic. Oh, that very first sip of coffee, not the rush chug while juggling your bag and keys, but the actual moment you taste the warmth, the comfort, the way it settles into your chest like a hug from inside. That's magic. And then when a stranger smiles at you, slow down, look up, look around, smile back, smile back. There's a whole conversation that happens without words, a whole human moment. Do you know how rare it is for people to genuinely see each other these days? That is magic too. And then, this one's big, even though it's tiny. Those quiet moments alone, not the lonely ones, the sacred ones. where you're in your car or you're standing in line or sitting at home and it's just you, your breath, your heartbeat, your presence. When you pause and breathe on purpose, slow, easy, grounded, you feel your whole nervous system soften. Now that's small. That's not nothing. That is your body saying, thank you for noticing me. These tiny things, they're powerful, they're grounding, they're invitations, little nudges from life reminding you that joy isn't somewhere out there in some imagined future that you haven't reached yet. It's right here, in the now, inside the ordinary. But here's the thing most people miss: you don't find magic by accident. You find it because you choose to pay attention. You find it because you say, even in the middle of chaos or clutter or your 47 item to do list, I'm going to look around for something beautiful today. I'm going to let one moment surprise me. I'm going to notice what I usually overlook. You don't force it, you don't manufacture it, you welcome it. And the moment you begin doing that, just the intention alone, you start feeling this subtle shift inside you, a softness, a curiosity, a sense of aliveness coming back online. It's like life moves from black and white back into color. Not all at once, but one small spark at a time. And that, my friend, that right there is how the magic begins. So let's drop into a little real conversation for a minute, because this is where the magic actually shows up. Not in theory, not in the idea, but in the lived moment. Let me tell you a story. And I promise, it's not dramatic or fancy, it's ordinary. But that's exactly why it's so powerful. Just last week, I made a decision, a quiet one. I didn't light a candle. I didn't journal for an hour. I didn't set an intention under a full moon. I just decided. I said, okay, sailor, today you're going to look for the magic. Like, actually look. And when I tell you this changed everything, I mean everything. I'm not exaggerating. It started with something super small. I got in my car, turned the key, and instead of letting my brain go straight into the day's to do list, I hit play on my favorite song. You know, the one, the song that hits you right in the chest, the second beat drops, and as it played, something softened in me. My shoulders dropped, my breath got a little deeper, and I caught myself smiling at a red light. Like a whole light, red, feeling happy. I was thinking, this is amazing. I'm really feeling alive right now. And then, as I was pulling into the store, I saw this little kid in the park next to the parking lot, maybe around 4 or 5 years old, just chasing leaves. Yep, leaves. Like it was the most magical video game ever created. He was laughing, spinning, falling down, getting back up, chasing another leaf like it was a treasure. And I thought, wow, when did we stop doing that? When did I stop doing that? When did magic become something that we scheduled instead of something we experience? Later that day, I passed a bakery and, you know, that smell of fresh bread, It just wraps around you like a warm hug. I stood outside for a second longer than I needed to, and I felt this wave of gratitude for absolutely nothing big, just the smell, the moment, the warmth, the fact that I was even there to smell it. And here's the wild part. None of these moments would have happened if I wasn't paying attention. Not one. I would have driven, shopped, checked out, rushed home, and missed every single spark. And because I noticed them, my entire day felt different. I felt lighter. I felt more connected to myself. I smiled more. And not because anything big happened, but because I was actually awake for my own life that day. You ever have a day where you feel like your soul is just offline? Like you're doing the tasks, checking the boxes, but you're not there? Magic moments pull you back online. They bring you back into yourself. And what surprised me most wasn't that these moments existed, it's that they exist every single day. I just wasn't looking. I wasn't tuned in. I wasn't open enough to receive them. The magic just didn't appear. It's always been there. And I did. I appeared. I appeared in my day. So here's my invitation to you. And you know, I love giving you a good soul challenge. And this week, I want you to journal or even just mentally note 3 moments of magic each day. Not the big stuff, not life changing stuff. I mean, the teeny tiny, easily missed moments. The warmth of your blanket in the morning, a random laugh that slipped out of you, your dog running to greet you, the sun the sun hitting your face just right, a song that brings you back to life. Whatever sparks something in you, a smile, a breath, a memory, a shift, write it down, capture it, claim it. Because the moment you start collecting magic, you start attracting more of it. And that, my friend, is how you change your life without changing your circumstances. And here's the thing. When you start paying attention to these small moments, these tiny sparks, you begin to notice something powerful happening inside you. Life starts to feel different. Not in a dramatic movie scene way, but in a subtle, steady, soul deep way. Suddenly, colors look a little brighter. Sounds feel softer. Conversations feel richer. And you start feeling more alive, more connected, more present in your own life instead of just moving through it on autopilot. It's like your awareness becomes this gentle switch that you never knew you had. And when you flip it on, the heaviness that you've been carrying, it lightens. Your nervous system settles. Your heart feels a little more open. You find yourself breathing deeper and actually enjoying the breath. Because here's the real truth. Magic is not some huge moment that comes crashing in. It's not a perfect day or a dream come true or a big accomplishment. Magic is awareness. It's choosing to look, choosing to notice, choosing to be present long enough to feel the goodness that you've been stepping over. And the more you practice noticing, the more you train your mind and your spirit to catch those everyday sparks. And once you start catching them, you'll see them everywhere. So, before we wrap up today, I want to leave you with something soft and simple, something that you can carry with you long after this episode ends. The magic of life. It's not out there somewhere. It's not waiting for the perfect job, the perfect partner, the perfect timing, or the perfect version of you. It's right here. It's in your awareness. It's in the way that you look at life. It's in the way you let yourself slow down long enough to actually see what's around you. Because when you start to look closely, when you actually pause and let yourself listen, taste, breathe, and feel, the ordinary starts becoming extraordinary. That same old routine starts to feel a little more radiant. The things that you once rushed through suddenly feel richer, sweeter, and more meaningful. And here's the beautiful part. Nothing outside of you has to change for that shift to happen. The world doesn't have to rearrange itself. You don't need a sign for the heaviness. You don't need a new chapter of life to begin. You don't need a sign from the heavens. You don't need a new chapter of life to begin. All you need is a little openness, a willingness to notice, a willingness to let magic meet you where you are. So take a deep breath with me right now. That's right. Go ahead and inhale and exhale. And remember this, magic isn't something you chase, it's something you allow. Go find, go find your magic today and the rest of the week, not by searching, but by noticing. And next week, we're going to talk about how to make space for more of it. That's right, my friends. This is our wonderful session of Soulful Saturdays with Sailor. Thank you so much for being here. It is a pleasure to share this all with you. And remember, your journey is yours alone. No one else can claim it, no one else can rewrite it, and no one else can take the lessons that you've learned. So honor it, love it, stand tall in it. And as we step into the new year, which is coming up soon, reflection isn't just about looking back, it's about creating the clarity and peace to move forward. So you've done the work, you've lived the lessons. Now go ahead and show the world your brilliance. Your brilliance. That is unapologetically, beautifully you. That's right, my friends. All right, this is Cindy Sailor signing off with another episode of Soulful Saturdays with Sailor.